the gas turbine or turbine, the basic operation of the gas turbine. Is similar to that. Steam power plant. Except that air is used instead of water. Fresh atmospheric air flows through a compressor. That brings it to a high pressure. So, in the first step, fresh air. Energy is then added by spraying fuel into the air. Is then added by spraying fuel into the air. And ignited it so that the combustion generates a high temperature airflow. So the combustion provides a high temperature flow. This high temperature, high pressure gas enters a turbines. High pressure and high temperature. Gas enters a turbine. Where it expands down to the exhaust pressure. To the exhaust. pressure producing shaft work output. So we have three stages in the turbines. Let me review. Fresh atmospheric air flows through a compressor that brings it to a high pressure. Energy is then added by spraying fuel into the air and ignited it, so the combustion provides a high temperature flow. So high pressure and high temperature gas enters a turbine where it expands down to the exhaust pressure. The purpose of the gas turbine determines the design so that the most desirable energy from is maximized. So that the most desirable energy from is 4 is maximized. An example of a larger turbine of stationary power generation is shown in this picture. An example of a large gas turbine for stationary power generation is shown in this picture. The unit has 60 stages of compression and 4 stages in the turbine and is rated at about 43 megawatt gas turbine. Notice that since the combustion of fuel uses the oxygen in the air, the exhaust gases cannot be recirculated as the water is in a steam power plant. A gas turbine is often preferred power generating device where a large amount of power is needed but only a small physical size is possible. The large amount of power is needed. But only a small physical size is possible. For example, jet engines. Turbofan jet engines. offshore oiling power plant, or peak load power generator. In larger power plants. Since the gas turbine has relatively high exhaust temperature, so we have high exhaust temperature, it can also be arranged so that the exhaust gas are used to heat water that runs in a steam power plant, for example, before it exhausts to the atmosphere. In the example mentioned previously, the jet engine and the turboprops application utilize part of the power to discharge the gases at the high velocity. This is what generates that thrust of the engine that moves the airplane forward. The gas turbine in this application are therefore designed differently than those for the stationary power plant, where the energy is released as shaft work to electric generator. The next thermodynamic process is the chemical rocket engine.